Alright, welcome back to Unlucky Lucca with the Wheel of Misfortune. I've actually been itching to get back to this, so I'm really excited to be back in. Loving this campaign. We're about to launch our second crusade against the Mamluks in the age of Prospero. We tore them apart, we took their rich heartland, the granary of the Mediterranean. I fed a whole bunch of it to the knights, so I'm currently integrating, and then of course took Jerusalem for myself because Deus Vult. And it's all been lovingly converted to Catholicism, despite the fact that we were forced to take humanist ideas. Far from my favourite of the lot. I will probably flesh it out. It was somebody on YouTube of all places that reminded me, gotta stick to the spirit of the game, Jake, fill out your humanist ideas. So there is that. Meanwhile, we are slowly but surely uniting Greater Italia. I've been cheesing off Austria and France, and of course the Italian miners, and the day will come when I clash swords with Rome. But until then, all seems to be going quite smoothly. We subjugated Savoy and have been feeding them their cores back. Unfortunately, Switzerland saw fit to take 2 of them and add them to the HRE. That's not very good. Now you might be wondering, what is this Wheel of Misfortune nonsense? Well, hang on, let's see if we can actually bring you up. That would be useful. Here we go. Here's our Wheel of Misfortune. We spin this every 5 years. We only just spun one for 1535. And we have to do whatever it says. We don't have to do an example spin. Everyone's seen it by now. But we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to make it shut up too. We're not going to do it this time, but normally whenever it lands on one of these, we have to do what it says immediately. And if it's not possible, then we do a respin. Although most of them are made to be possible in some way, shape, or form. So, in this case, for example, we would have Decadence, and I would have to dismiss 20% of my force limit. Thankfully, I don't have to do that right now. You might also notice that Bear has landed, has really grown since it was first added. I've been taking tribute to the bear by way of summoning, and I think we can see them here. Yet, loads of people have been sending in tribute for the bear, which has been really awesome. Every time I see one of these, I add weight to the Bear Has Landed part of the Wheel of Misfortune, based on how creative or inspiring or inspired these are. So, good job everybody who submitted those. They've also been added to the document where I'm keeping all the weightings for everyone. But let's get rid of you. We don't have to deal with any wheels for the next 5 years. We have to deal with the Mamluks, however. I've been humming and hawing over how to deal with this, but the wheel dealt with some of that for me because I've been reduced to halberd infantry, Latin knights, and large bronze mortars. Once again, it's like, it's a custom whenever we go to war with Mamluks that we have to bring the worst that we have. I would probably like to just declare war on them straight away. There's very little reason to hum and ho about, at least none that I can think of. We don't have any threats back home, because we're allied with Spain and Switzerland, and even the Pope, so that should keep us pretty tight. Excellent. Also, I really want to cut off the Ottomans from this land. There's a lot I want to take from the Mamluks. Of course, I have to be wary of aggressive expansion, but we still have a crusade going on against them. We might as well make use of that. Also, I'm drowning in papal influence, and I'd like to take another stab at being the papal controller myself. 20% sounds good. Excommunicating people left and right. Pretty awesome. Any idea how long this session will go on for, Jake? To figure out the odds of Bear this session, I don't know, 20, maybe 25 years? Let's estimate that. Okay, I have naval supremacy, that's unquestioned, and perhaps even unquestionable. I can't think of any good reason not to go to war. Our pathetic units have gotten their morale back. I don't know how many units we're going to be fighting against. Let's have a look at him and his allies. It includes Dawasir. And there's a jam there that I hope will be lost eventually, but how best to handle this? Probably through sniping any occupations I can around here, and most of all blocking off the Ottomans. Otherwise I just want to get people out of this war, so no point dilly-dallying in my eyes. Let's just show our superiority. Hunj, Ajam, Hormuz, Dawasir. Dawasir I might want to take this province off of. It's not even his capital, it's just a useless 3-dev province. So Dawasir are allied with Mamluks, Hormuz, and Ajam. Same allies as you. So I have no problem making you a co-belligerent. Holy War. And once again, we Deus Vult. So we have a fort right next to us straight away. Of course we do. But what I am going to do is snipe Jaffa from the Ottomans. Shadow's got a a bit of siege on him, so it's probably a good idea to get going with that. I want all my cannons over there. And then the rest of you, I would rather like it if you could enter Snipe City. What I'm saying is I want these provinces rather than our friend taking them. So the numbers probably don't look too good. No, certainly not. But the enemy is scattered, and he also has to face off against the Ottomans. However, my units are hot garbage, so we got to give it our all. Unfortunately, the Ottomans were the first ones here, but you never know. They might not hold on to it. I mean, it's a tiny force that they have there. Alright, Crusade as well. Morale is up, tax is up, manpower, prestige, and papal influence. We're making good use of our ideas. Everything's synergizing well when it comes to papal influence. Alright, as expected, he buggered right off there. I just want to take everything I can. I'm giving my all. Would probably be a good idea to even give the Ottomans access through my land so he can hunt down and destroy more. As long as I do occupations in my name, things should be a bit better. It's also a nice warning sign if the Ottomans ever want to come for me. So while we're here, we just take and take greedily. One thing I haven't been thinking about are the state situation around here. For one, Corfu has a fort. I'm actually going to keep that fort because I think it'll be kind of handy if people try to attack me here. As in, when the Ottomans eventually fight me, it would be good to trap some of their units on me. Otherwise, I can't see much use in Urbino having a fort, because Firenze already cuts the island in half. I will, however, I'm not hurting for states whatsoever. So I could state you up and increase autonomy while I'm here. And, you know, why not just unstate you as well, because it doesn't have a full core of mine. Nah, it doesn't. What else is going on with the whole state situation? There's, of course, kind of no point doing that because of all the Spaniards over there. I'm thinking mostly about how to not get revolts popping up, which would distract me from this war. Because, once again, my units are really garbage right now. Purposefully downgraded, courtesy of the Wheel of Misfortune. I've also been thinking what to do around here. I would like you, because you'd be great at converting lots of land for me. But is that really the best use of you? I mean, I'm pretty strong at converting land anyway, but you'd be able to do all this Bedouin stuff super easy. You could just come down here and just nom nom nom. And I am... well, I'm going to have space for an extra subject. The question is if you are the right subject for me. I think you may well be, so to that end, you're allied with Hejaz. Hejaz is allied with Mushasha, but Mushasha is ages away. Niza. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make build up a spy network with a hope to actually fabricate on Mecca, because if I get you, then I'll have the conquest of Mecca for even more prestige and an extra missionary, so I can humanistically, if that's even a word, which it isn't, convert a whole bunch of land. We're humanist, I swear, Gov. So the Knights aren't very keen on doing all this warlark, probably because, well, I'm eating them up as we speak. No sign of the enemy though, and the Ottomans already do not want to have me have military access through me. Main thing I want is to get the allies out of the war, except for Dawasir. I will probably want to take this land, and I swear they just built that fort right now. No? Was it always there? Well, I am pretty blind. Jake, wouldn't make Hejaz a much better subject with all the cores and that. Yeah, they have plenty of cores around here, but they have Mecca, and I would quite like Mecca. Flip side, it is a religious center. Mecca have religious ideas. I could actually just annex and release Mecca. I would bring them up to speed in tech as well, but their liberty desire would be through the roof. As in, it would take forever to bring back down. I'll have to think about that one. It's not an easy choice. I'll just keep that merc there as an early warning sign. Like you there. I see what you're up to. Well, if we take all of this, then there's nothing to fear. Sadly, it was Tunis taking this land, so Tunis is building up a fair bit of war score on their own. They have 20. But if I take these two, and possibly even Al-Juf, then there's nothing to give to the Ottomans. Sadly, I can't get there until Al-Karak is down. Well, would you look at that? Al-Karak is down. I want to move the bulk of you over here, which should be grand. Let's just leave behind a couple of no-lifers to take these. Everybody wins, especially me. So loads of enemies, they're even bulking up, but I feel that, well, maybe they're invading Italy. That's what they like to do, isn't it? Didn't I say I'd get rid of this fort? It's not really doing me anything. 3 forts are all I really need. These 3 secure the center for myself. I should also probably claim more land off of Milan, since I will be killing them when the truce is up. But keeping good relations with Spain is also very important. You could vassalize Hejaz and force the heretics to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. Yeah, I could. Like I said, they would be extremely angry with me for a long time. Do Hejazi... Okay, could somebody tell me what Hejaz ideas are in the chat? That would be extremely useful. I know you like to watch me die, but surely you want to be useful. France no longer guarantee Alsace for all that's worth. Speaking of worthless, my single horse here is going to get annihilated by those guys, so there's really no point in just standing around. My useless units will get curb stomped by them anyway. Yeah, mind you, you could probably help out there instead. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Just melted. Even though that was Olwyn's right there. Thankfully Olwyn's didn't die. So these lands come under our unquestioned control. Unquestioned and unquestioned. Hello, that's Mamluk, alright. Alright, so this is the downside of fighting in the unknown. People can come out of the unknown. Especially when it's a jam, who I'm probably not going to be getting out of any wars anytime soon, but... Who are you fighting? It's a shame that they kill my mercs, because, well, I quite like to keep my mercs and not eat the professionalism loss. But, can't have it all. Shadow's a good enough fighter, he'll hold things down there. They have +2 tolerance to the true faith, which you can show them. You make an excellent point there. Okay, he probably wants to make a move on his capital, which is fine either way. Either he distracts Tunis, and then he takes care of them for me, or, perhaps even better, he takes it back so that I can take the capital. And what do the Ottomans have against me? They really hate my guts. Okay, I've improved relations with you plenty. I want some other claims here. I don't have all day. Unfortunately, Milan has entered an alliance with my good friend the Pope. It's an easy way to get a war with the Pope, but I'm not sure I'm at the stage of wanting to fight him right now. Nonetheless, that's very useful. I fight Pope, I take Pope lands. They're very expensive, but at least I whittle him down a fair bit. Or better yet, I break his alliances with Portugal and Austria. I hope he's not on great terms with... Okay, he's threatened to Spain. Spain probably want his lands. This is kind of useful to me. I can take this province back for my subject off of Milan, but otherwise I start carving up the Pope. I don't care if it's double cost, it's pretty good news for me. So all the better reason to get that spy network going on Milan. Come to think of it, it shows superiority in a crusade war, so I should be engaging in some battles. I mean, that's where you get the score from, and he's just been eating my score. Counter-Reformation is tempting, especially for those 2 extra missionaries, but it's of little use to me recht nu. The Knights and Savoy both really don't want anything to do with this. Alright, so the Mamluks took his capital back really quickly. This is good because Tunis gets to go and engage with him. The Swedish are bankrupt. Morally and monetarily. Right, plenty of enemies for me to hoover up, if only my units weren't made of garbage here. Manpower, cav cost, tolerance to faith, trade power, da 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 da. 1 missionary strength, that's what I'm looking for, because they also have religious ideas and defensive, which is rather nice. Alright, there he goes. Tunis is going to wipe up these guys for me. As soon as I have this fort, everything gets a bit better for me as well. And otherwise, I just got to wait for others to get out. So, as we see, Ajam is getting carved up. And when I'm in a situation too, I will gladly help out there. Goodbye admin points. Hello quarantine city. Got a pretty great ruler right now. I want to keep him around for a long time, so we're going to strengthen that government. However, I really need to get some Spanish squares so I have a military edge. Damn, this is one fort that doesn't want to fall. How is Hunja's tech? 8, so I would be able to wipe them up and harvest war score off of them. So yeah, once I'm done with this... someday I'll be done with a siege. Come on, Shadow. We'll swing around and destroy them. Harvest that war score. Okay, I think Ajam's capital is gone, and we finally got Tabuk. If I had some diplomats to send, I could take care of that. Unfortunately, I'm so busy over there. Well, I mean, Ajam still has high war enthusiasm, but wouldn't help to have a gander. Okay, yeah, the war has only just started, so of course he's not interested in that. Well, keep spying on our friend. I could work my way further down here, I could swing around and get some war score, and that means we're going for war score. Even if our troops are utter garbage and we have no... Ooh. I like prestige, but I'm capped on it, so give me some spy network construction, pretty please. Let's try and hoover up that war score, especially if we can get the capital. Interesting route there, but go that way, please. Oh, Dawasir. Many people to kill. Alright, so not very surprising that the Emperor remains the Emperor. Hunj is... Okay, we get to hoover up somebody at least. Welcome to die. I have a feeling 5 shock might be better at this point. Well, no, we'll keep the 5 fire 3 shock. It feels good, you know. 12, 17, 18. Yeah, we're not there in time to destroy anybody's day. But I'll take what I can around here. Especially if I can catch you. Kinda want to deposit my cannons here just to help out, but war score is war score. Yes, actually, the cannons don't do that much in battle right now. There's no Tech 13, so take the capital and move along, please. He's got 5 shock, though. That's nothing to be sniffed at. Tell you what, I have a grand idea for you knights. How about you stop being so useless and you attach to me? He probably wants to swing back round to his capital. I won't let him. Bad events aplenty, even if it's loads of money. I can't be losing 10 Republican tradition. That's over 300 mil points right there. Maybe the knights can't see down here. That would be feasible, I think. Can't say for sure though. Will you share the bears you got with us? Okay, hang on, didn't I show them earlier at the start? I think I did. Let's not make double our work here. Austrian Ottomans not being so happy with each other is great news. Sadly, Olwen's is dead. His 5 shock days are long gone, but he served us great in 2 wars, so I cannot complain about the services rendered. Mantua, on the other hand, I can certainly complain about you. What's up, a jam? They're probably not down and out of this war just yet. It's tricky though, because they likely could be forced out of the other war. And that means I would have to focus on a jam 100%. There we go, they're meant to be supportive, so they should be attaching to me, but they might be having trouble with that. This is a bit dangerous, because even though I outnumber him, he has 5 shock. Fem shocka, as some say. And my units are old and busted. If I engage with him and lose, that's a lot of war score to dump. Doesn't help that he has offensive ideas, and I assure you, do not. So I'm not confident in my units at all. Don't want him to take his new capital back, but basically what I'm saying is, Ottomans, would you get your ass over here? Yeah, how confident does he feel in fighting me, though? He's not scared of my units. In fact, he even artillery barrages it to take the fort down straight away. 1930... I'd have a slight flank on him, but I am not overly confident in me fighting him. Also, that's a huge loss of resources to engage with him. Capital ain't worth that, especially when I'm not far from the next deck. So yeah, that spin of the wheels, it's really crippling. He'll have that on the next deck. Right, I want to engage with him. Where's he off to? Sadly, not to places that I can see, and the Ottomans sure don't want to give me access. Bah humbug. Oh, hot damn, I didn't notice that though. We are done integrating the knights. That gives us a few free troops that I don't think I can move. Okay, thank God. Let's bring you back somewhere that you can be useful to me. Hustle. And we don't suffer too much of a dip rep hit because we had a mission for them. I am, however, wondering what to do with this vast amount of military points. And even when I look towards development, well, you know, Ferrara calls out to me with its low amount of well, it's got no autonomy, so it's a pretty good place to do it anyway. And the burgers are no longer cheesed off with me, even better. Okay, what am I trying to get at here? Let's make it a bit cheaper and go for it. Yes, I have the power of sight. There we go. Because manpower is an issue for us. Gotta remember to turn that off later, of course. Right, a bit of extra units, and they are halberd infantry and Latin knights, because of course they are. Under Shadow's leadership, perhaps we can make something of this. Although you should always get your 10s to 1s. Pop. Not worth the war score, but it's still ours. Okay, not worth the attrition. I've got my spy network to deal with you now. I already have this claim. It's good for quite a while. Let's claim the last one, so I don't need to keep spying on you. I'm spying on the other one. And yeah, man, I would love to get the jam out of this war. They bring quite a lot of power. But we're a ways away from that. 5 generals and slacking recruitment lets you net way more manpower though, and that's probably a good general too. Aye, Aye. Probably even in the long term it does. In fact, we are low on generals, and I would like to get another one. But I'll probably wait for Shadow to be dead, because Shadow is certainly very competent. I just don't want to engage with these garbage units. Well, I can always siege, though. Sieging doesn't hurt too bad. And I do want that province off Dawasir. I mean, honestly, I would want this, some of this, and a route down here. It's a lot of war score and a show superiority war that I'm not showing superiority in, but it's something to think about. Hormone is also bigger than I thought, by a considerable amount. Okay, Caesar's no longer with us, but there are others out there, right? Oh, he's splitting up. That would make life very good for me. We're keeping our ruler, of course. He's not that old. 52 isn't that old for a Republican. And admin points, just what we wanted. I could break this wall down just to make things easier, and I have been dripping in mill points. And I do like the idea of things being easier for me. Nah, there's time. So, oh, okay, except they do get a natural walls breached, which is a shame for me. Does Osmanoglu have access to your land? I offered it to him. He didn't want it, so I'll give it back to him again. Okay, they are cleaving through my walls there. I kinda don't want to be here with that happening. But I don't really have the numbers to deal with that without backup. What I can do is leave my cannons behind with a token force, but they're liable to get sniped. Alright, we gotta try and save that province. I don't want to lose a fort around here. Hopefully he doesn't move in to protect it. Now he's moving in to protect it. And a disease outbreak on my fort. Okay. Ah, he must have known I was coming. Still, I might be able to engage these guys separately, which would be a boon for me. Oh, he's got a couple of 2-star generals. Ain't that right? He's got quite a few. He brings a fair amount to the party. Mushasha is going to fight those rebels. I'm not at war with Mushasha, am I? No. Good. In fact, there's Mushasha carving up one of my targets. Okay. '18th, 24th, 23rd. I can carve you up immediately. I'll take my chances. You want to fight me in the Highlands, brother? Come right ahead. It's not a lot, but I'll pick off some armies. And he marches straight back in and brings down the walls. That's kind of scary. Really wish I wasn't fighting with utter garbage units here, otherwise I would rush right into him. Would be an idea to recruit some more mercs to flesh things out as well. I mean, what do I have? 25, and the combat width is currently 27. I could get a couple of, you know, halberd infantry, the best around. Don't like my odds against him, but